everybody, my name is Mars. You can call me May or MG if you would like, and today, February 16th, I am starting a new reading vlog. So this is one that I have been planning for a few weeks now, and I'm so excited to get into it. Basically, I will be reading from non-binary authors. If you did not know, I am non-binary, and so I'm always looking for ways to support other non-binary creators, as well as just generally queer creators. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do a vlog dedicated to reading books by other non-binary writers, specifically ones that I have not read from before. So a little bit of a shout out to writers like H.E. Edgman and M. Kieran, both fantastic non-binary writers that I've read from before and I really liked their books. So I love them, but I will not be reading them for this vlog. I have 5 books planned, 3 physical books and 2 ebooks, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit about those before we get into what I'm starting with. So the 2 ebooks that I'm going to be reading are An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon and Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Pecco, and that is actually the book that kind of started my idea for this. So I don't remember who I was watching. It was like a wrap-up or a haul or something where someone had brought up Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Pecco, and I'm like, that sounds really interesting. Let me look it up. And it's on Scribd, so that's why I was like, cool. But in my looking it up, I learned that Rin Pecco is non-binary, and then I remembered that I own another book by a non-binary author that we'll get to, and it sent me on this spiral trying to learn about other non-binary authors that I can include in this. So those are the first 2 books, and then I have the 3 physical books I want to read. Okay, so my cat has joined me. You can kind of see her face peeking down there, and you might be able to hear her purring because she's super loud. But the 3 physical books that I own and I'm going to be reading for this vlog are Pet by Akwaeke Emezi, which I did not know was this small. It's like less than 200 pages. Yeah, 197. So that's going to be a very quick read. Then I have The Mirror Season by Anna Marie McLemore. This cover, absolutely stunning, and I'm just obsessed. Oh, hello. And then the last book I'm going to be talking about, which is the first book I'm going to be reading actually, is Iron Widow by Shirin J. Zhao, and I'm so excited to get into this. I bought this in December and I've been putting it off, waiting for like the perfect time to read it, and that's now. So this is the first one I'm going to be reading. So Iron Widow is a polyamorous kind of fan fiction of ancient China, and it's got like Pacific Rim vibes because there's like mechs and stuff, and like I am so excited for this. Like all of that sounds fantastic, and this is actually one of the picks for the Tome Travelers Book Club, which the theme for this month is polyamorous like books, so I'm glad to be taking part in the book club. So I am just very excited to read this. I follow Shirin J. Zhao on Tumblr and Instagram, and they're just like a really funny person, and I'm glad to finally be reading their book. I know Katie Ann adores this book. It's gotten rave reviews all over the internet. The second book in, I believe, just a duology. I don't think it's gonna be more than that, but the second book comes out in August, so hopefully I love this one and then I'll buy that because the cover on that one that I've seen is so stunning, just like this one. I'm obsessed. I do have a signed copy that I got at Barnes & Noble. I went to go buy some manga and then I saw this, so I had to buy it because, like, yeah, a signed copy. Obviously I want it. So, yeah, the Chaos Queens are streaming in a little over an hour, so during the sprints I'm going to crack into this and I'll update you guys later. Sorry for the bad lighting. It's very late right now, and also one of the light bulbs is out in my bedroom. I'm like a third of the way through Iron Widow. It's so good. I'm having a fantastic time. I love it so much already. I did not know that the main character was disabled. That's something that I somehow did not learn from all of the people that I know who've read it. Love that. Love a disabled protagonist. And oh god, all of the thoughts that I had are just gone. I don't know. I'm tired. It is quite late, so I'm gonna go to bed. I'll probably read one more chapter before I go to bed, because my boyfriend isn't quite ready yet. So while I'm waiting for him, I'm gonna read a little bit more. But yeah, I'm loving it. It's so good. I mean, I figured I would love it, but like, I was a little bit worried that like, what if I hyped it up too much that I was disappointed? Luckily, that does not seem to be the case. But yeah, I will update you as I go along. So see you maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Hello, friends. It is about 12:30 in the afternoon on the 17th, and I am now 200 pages into Iron Widow. I hold it up as if you can see the cover. I mean, you can, right there. It's on my bookshelf, but I don't like reading with a dust jacket on. Anyway, 200 pages in, I figured now was a good time to update you. I don't really remember what I said yesterday in my update because it was really late and I was very tired. I'm pretty sure I talked about the disability wrap and like we have the one character with glasses and it was really nice to see because I also need glasses. If I didn't talk about that, one of the characters has glasses that are described as being as the lenses are as thick as the bottom of a liquor bottle. And like as someone with insanely thick glasses, loving the rep. And yeah, I'm just kind of still obsessed with everything about this book. Right now, the part we're at, we're dealing with some like harder topics like alcohol addiction and like recovery from that, and it's just well done from what I can tell. I don't really have any personal experience or like connections to people who experienced this, so I'm like not too knowledgeable about it, but it feels very real to me and I really like the way it's being handled. Um oh, the polyamory. So literally I've been like talking about my reading as I'm going in the Tome Travelers Discord because this is a Tome Traveler book club pick, and I literally sent a message saying, "Man, it'd be really cool if the two love interests also were into each other or something like that because like you have the female main character and then there's two male love interests, but instead of being a love triangle, she ends up with both of them because it's polyamorous." And I was like, it'd be real cool if they ended up like romantically involved as well. And then literally the next page, the main character was thinking to herself, like, seeing these two interact, it reminds me of the one that I like knew longer, how sometimes he would talk about male celebrities and it would make me think like maybe he's not just into women, but that's fine because I'm not just into men. And I'm like, I guess everyone's bisexual, and we have gotten some sprinklings of maybe a little bit of the two male characters being interested in each other, and like top tier. That is some top tier shit right there. I am eating it all up. Um, but yeah, there's how many pages are in this book? There's 390. So I have just under 200 pages left. So I'm a little bit over halfway. Um, yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. I could finish it today, but I really want to maybe not spend my whole day reading because I feel like lately I've just been reading so much and it's great, but I have other stuff to do. I don't know if I'll finish it tomorrow because I'm going to hang out with some friends and watch some wrestling. And then the day after that is a day that I'm going out to dinner with some friends. Like I'll have the whole day up until whenever we go out. But like I said, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I've kind of been pushing to the back burner. Not quite neglecting, but not focusing on because I've been reading so much. And I should really get to some of that. So, don't know when I'll finish this. Probably gonna be sometime this weekend, but I will update you when there are things to update you on. Hello. It's several hours later. It's like 7:30 now, and I've read another 100 pages of this book, so maybe I will finish it really soon. I'm trying not to finish it tonight, but like my boyfriend is away for the weekend and I'm very bored. So like maybe I will finish it tonight. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and update you guys a little bit. I'm still absolutely loving this book. Oh, my heat is about to kick on, so sorry for that. That's gonna come up in the back of this audio. Um, yeah, so I'm really like, I keep thinking of the Hunger Games while I'm reading this, which is weird because the stories aren't the same. Like, they're not really that similar, but like, the themes and like arcs and stuff are, and it's just all of these thoughts and comparisons are going on in my head while I'm reading, and I really want to do a video on this. And if I do that video, it'll definitely be up before this vlog is. But yeah, that's just something that's in my head, and I'm wondering if like other people have made these comparisons after reading Iron Widow, and I think I have quite a bit to say on it, and it's interesting. So I'm probably gonna maybe do some journaling about that and like get my thoughts out on it, because it's kind of fascinating comparing and contrasting just like as I'm going, and from my limited memory, there's the heat. My limited memory of the Hunger Games, because it's been about a year and a half since I last read them, and yeah, it's just an interesting time. So I'm gonna go feed my cats and get dinner myself, and maybe get back to reading tonight. I'm gonna try and find something else to do, but yeah, you'll either get an update from me finishing this book tonight or at the very latest tomorrow, because it's just so good. I just don't want to put it down. Good morning, friends. It is the next day. It is, oh, the cat in my lap has woken up. Hello, gremlin. It is like 8:45 in the morning, and I've showered. That's why my hair is wet. I had my breakfast. I'm snuggling with my kitty cat, and now I'm getting ready to read the last 80-ish pages of Iron Widow, and oh boy, I'm excited and terrified all at once, but I will do that and then come back and let you know my final thoughts. Okay, I'm really sorry for my loud heat going on in the background, but I've just finished Iron Widow, and I gotta talk about this. Oh my god, oh my fucking god, this shit is crazy. This is such a crazy book, and it's so good. Okay, spoilers. Spoilers from this point on, because there's a lot I gotta talk about. Okay, first of all, starting off light, we got that, the male romance going in there, the whole perfect triangle. This is a thing that the main character does, is she, like, makes a triangle with her fingers, and I think that's so funny, and so adorable, and so, like, ugh, they all love each other. It's so good. It's so good. But then, oh my god, so, okay, how do I explain this? I mean, anyone who's watching the spoilery bit either doesn't care to read the book or has already read it. So, like, you probably already know stuff, and I don't have to go into too many details, but, like, so they're in the the chrysalises, that's such a weird word to say, the mech suits, and they're going to where the Hunduns, the like creatures that they're fighting, are like based, which is this like legendary province that was like overrun 200 years ago, and they're like trying to get it back. And it's weird because like they're not being attacked, and then they like meet the they're like emperor class is what they're called, because the Hunduns and the chrysalises are both classed on like size and power in like nobility rankings, and obviously emperor's top, and there's two of them, and they're like talking as the battle is going, and they say like human scourge of the planet, and scourge of the universe, I think, actually, and like all this stuff. And it's like I started getting a little inkling of like I have an idea of what that might mean. And then you get to the epilogue, and you find out that the humans are not are the invaders. The Hunduns are not. So like the whole thing is that these people in this world think that Hunduns came from space and like invaded and like were killing everyone, but that's not the case. The humans are the invaders, and I knew it. When we started getting the Emperor class Hunduns talking to them, being like, "Get out of here! Stop killing us!" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh ho ho! I know where this is going," and I was right. Oh, yeah. So excited for Heavenly Tyrant Book 2, which comes out in, I believe, August. Cause yeah, they get a notice from the Heavenly Court saying like, hey, don't tell anyone that humans are the invaders, and we'll give you back what you want. And you know what Zetian, the main character, wants? Shimin, because spoilers, he dies! Oh, that was a very dramatic time for my heat to kick off. But yeah, I'm so mad that he dies, but like he's gonna come back. Like he has to come back. Oh my god. Oh, this book has destroyed me in the best way possible. Gremlin is sitting over here looking at me real confused. Yeah, great start to this vlog. I can't believe I have 4 more books to read for this, and I can't just stop here on a high note. I'm hoping I love the other ones just as much. Probably won't love them just as much. Hello, Gremlin. But I hope I still love them. Ma'am, I'm trying to film a clip here. Yeah, so right now I have a poll going on my Instagram. Stop showing your butthole to the camera. And I said, hey, pick my next read, and it's either going to be Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Chipeko, which is about vampires, or Pet by Kweki Emezi, which is the really short one that I bought physically, that's like about a girl who summons a monster or something like that. I really don't know much, ma'am. But yeah, we're gonna let that run for a little while, and I'm probably gonna check it tonight before I go to bed, because if I don't, I'll forget about it and won't get to see the results. So, I won't start the next book until tomorrow, though. Stop scratching at my chair. What are you doing? Yeah, so that's all for me today. I will see you tomorrow when I tell you about whatever book I'm reading next. Hello, friends. It is about 8 a.m. on the 19th, and so I'm here to update you. I'm kind of tired. I didn't get home until like 11 o'clock last night. Wrestling was fun. It was very entertaining. It's not like one of the big name ones, like the big events, but there was some fun stuff going on. Oh god, Chloe is approaching. My girl Asuka won the thing that she was doing. I don't know what it's called, because there's like a bunch of different like types of matches, and this one was one where they had the ring in a cage, and then there were 4 little like pods at the corners, and so 2 people started, and then every however much time someone from a pod was released until they all were in, I don't know. Hello, Chloe. But yeah, one of my favorite wrestlers won that event, so she'll be at WrestleMania, which is in like a month-ish, a little bit more than a month. But excited for that. But yeah, books. I ran a poll, and she's already leaving. I ran a poll on my Instagram yesterday, and it was between Silver Under Nightfall by Rinch Pecco and Pet by Akwekie Emezi, and whichever one won the poll was the next book I would read. And it was close. I checked it a couple of times throughout the day, and every time I checked it, it was either 50-50 or only like one vote off. And when it finished, it was actually 2 votes is what decided the win. And the win was Silver Under Nightfall by Rinch Pecco, which I don't own. I'll be reading it on Scribd. And I'm excited for this. I was actually reading the blurb for my friends yesterday because I was talking about my vlog and like how I'm doing and all the books I want to read. And apparently this one's also polyamorous, which I did not know. I just knew it was like vampires. It's described as Priory of the Orange Tree meets Castlevania, and I love Castlevania. Have not yet read Priory of the Orange Tree, but I will at some point this year. I actually just bought it like last week when I was at Target, so that's pretty funny. The universe seems to be telling me to read Priory, so I will get to that eventually. But I was reading the blurb and I'm like, this sounds like this guy is getting in on the action with this couple. And I did look it up and it's like, yep, this is a polyamorous relationship. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we're getting that back to back. That's pretty fun. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna start reading that today. And it's kind of chunky. It's like over 600 pages, so I don't know how long it's gonna take me to read, but I will update you when I get into the book so you can get my first thoughts. Hello, friends. It is about noon on the 20th, and I finally have an update for you on Silver Under Nightfall by Rinch Pecco. I am about 4 chapters in. I think I just finished the 4th chapter. 4th or 5th. I don't know. Um, it's good. It's not fantastic. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting into it, and I think there are several reasons for that. One being the language. It's very like flowery and it feels kind of like old style. Like it's got descriptions and things you would expect from like an old gothic novel. And while I love that, it does take more effort to like read and understand than like a modern book. And also, the chapters are so long. They're like 20 pages at the shortest, and like, I am not one for long chapters. My computer is making sounds. Yeah, I much prefer short chapters, and the long chapters, I just feel. So, like, when I start reading a chapter, I'll count how many pages there are, and, like, since I'm reading this on Scribd, it'll just tell me how many pages are in that chapter. And if it's, like, 10 or less, I'm like, oh, cool, I can read another chapter, and then I end up doing that, like, 10 times in a row. Even though that's so many pages, it doesn't feel like so many pages because it's split up. But then if I like start a new chapter and I see it's 25 pages, I'm like, ooh, do I really have time for that now? Like, do I really want to get into that? Because I hate stopping reading in the middle of a chapter. So, like, it just takes me much longer to read, like, longer chapters. Plus, this book is very long, so it'll take me so long to read it anyway. So, this might be my last book of the month. I still am hoping to squeeze Pet in at the end of the month for a couple of reasons. If not, it'll just be my first read of March. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. We have officially met both love interests because this is polyamorous, and we meet the one in the first chapter, but we don't know specifically that he's a love interest because we don't like know who he is. But then we met the second one in the last chapter I just read, and we find out then who this guy we've already been introduced to is. So that's interesting. I'm gonna get into some of that stuff, I guess. It is enemies to lovers, or like hate to love, a little bit of both, which is a good time. It's a little bit hard getting into like the world of things because it's very politics heavy, and I'm not really a politics person. Um, There were other things that I was gonna say. Oh, the main character is non-binary, which is interesting. You didn't expect that. He uses he/him pronouns. His name's Remy, but he specifically, like it says several times throughout, even just these first few chapters, that he doesn't like using lord or lady and prefers the gender-neutral term armiger, is how I would pronounce it, which means arms bearer, and he just likes that it doesn't come with like the implications that lord or lady would, which is fair enough. But yeah, it's good. It's not great. It's not sucking me in, pun unintended. But I'm vaguely enjoying myself, and I am interested in seeing where it goes. So I'm very tired today. I don't know why I've just been so tired these past few days. So I might read more later, or I might just not. We'll see. Hello, everybody. Today is February 22nd, and I have just hit page 200 in Silver Under Nightfall, so I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an update. I wouldn't say I'm loving it, but I am enjoying it. It's a good book. It's just falling flat in some areas for me, so I want to talk about that. Now, I'm critiquing this. That does not mean this is a bad book. I am still enjoying it, like I said. It's just not hitting all of the right things for me. And I feel like coming off of Iron Widow, which I absolutely adored, these things are hitting less. I don't know how to word this properly now that I've started this sentence. Like, I'm a little bit more picky coming off of a book that I absolutely adored than I would be if I was coming off of something that I was just casually enjoying. So, yeah. The first thing is that the characters don't really feel fully fleshed out. Like, they feel kind of flat. And, like, 200 pages into a book, your characters should really be, like, fleshed out and feeling like real people at this point. And it's, like, not terrible, but the main character is just kind of boring and he doesn't really do anything. And, like, some of the other characters have, like, one, maybe two character traits, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, I guess. Like, it's still an interesting enough story, but, like, I wish the characters just had, like, something more to them. Also, speaking of characters, the names just make no sense to me. So, like, I'd say 90% of the names are, like, British or, like, Germanic, and, like, the world kind of reflects that. But then you have, like, random things thrown in there. Like, there's one guy who has, like, a Russian name, one or two of them. Then one of the main characters, her name is Song Xiaodan, which I'm pretty sure is, like, Chinese inspired or, like, a Chinese name. And there's one guy whose name sounds kind of Japanese, and like, cool, we like that kind of representation, but the world doesn't really reflect like why these people would have different naming conventions and like different cultures. Like, it all feels like one world where everything should be cohesive, and having these random names thrown in there feels weird to me. Like, it just kind of is a little bit jarring to read, and I wish that the world was a little bit more reflective of this multicultural thing that the author is clearly trying to do with all of these different character names and inspirations. And it's just weird to me. And my last critique also has to do with like the world that's been created, in that it feels gothic, but this isn't a gothic story, and it's just really throwing me off. So like, I love gothic stories, and this atmosphere feels so gothic, but there's none of the like themes or motifs or conventions that you expect from gothic literature in this book, and it's just wild that I'm like expecting all of this, and it's just reading like any other fantasy. And I wish it was more gothic than just like the vibes. I feel like that would add a dimension to this book that it's kind of lacking right now. But yes, I like I said, I'm being a little bit more picky about this because I did just read a book that I absolutely adored, and if I didn't, then I probably wouldn't be so like attentive to the things that I'm not so big a fan of in this book. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm a little bit more than a third of the way through because there's 588 pages in my ebook edition. So I probably won't update you until the end, unless I like come across something that I really want to talk about, because I already know that this vlog is going to be so long, and I don't want to have unnecessary filler updates just to be like, hey, I made it to this page or whatever. So I will see you either when something big happens or when I finish this book. So see ya. Hello friends, today is the 24th and I just have a quick little update for you. I have finished reading Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Chiapeko, and in the end I have given it a 4 out of 10. Honestly, I debated DNFing it, but figured I'll stick it out. I was like only 100 pages till the end when I was like, I really don't like this, so I'm like, at 100 pages I can read 100 pages. I read it a lot faster than I thought I would. But yeah, there were a lot of things that if it was like just that was my issue with it, I would have thought it was a fine book, but because it was all like compounded together, I was like not having a good time, and it was like the world building not really being meshed together very well, and I didn't like many of the characters. I didn't like any of the main trio, and there were very few side characters that I actually enjoyed reading about, and one of which they killed off in the end, so like, thanks. Didn't like the romance at all. I just really didn't like how it was done. For a romance where all of the characters talk about consent so often, it read like it wasn't consensual. Like there was a lot of force, and like the way it was described was not my cup of tea. I really didn't like how, so we have the main character who is, from my understanding, non-binary, but uses he, him, and has male anatomy, and then his two love interests, one is male, one is female, both cisgender. And like his interactions with the female character are like fine. It's a little bit weird, but like nothing worrying. But like every time him and the male character had interactions, just the two of them, it was always so like aggressive, and like neither of them could ever say anything soft to each other. Like I just didn't like it. It felt very toxic masculinity to me, and I just didn't really like how the three of them, the dynamic played out. It's very much going to be the first book in a series, like, that didn't clear anything up at the end. And, I don't think I'll be reading the rest of the series unless I had sufficient motivation, but as of right now, that was enough for me. So today is Friday, and I'm actually going to be on the Tome Travelers book club live discussion for this month. The theme was polyamorous romance, and Iron Widow was one of the picks. And because I read it and was like, hey, I can't make it to the stream, fill in for me? And I was like, okay, sure. So it's me and Stieg and M and or Han. I don't know if both of them will be there or just one, but that's in about half an hour, so I should probably start getting ready for that. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so today's Friday. Tomorrow I'm gonna take the day off from reading actually, and just like focus on writing, because that's something I've kind of been neglecting because of my reading. And Sunday I will pick up Pet by Kweki, and my goal is going to be to read it all in one day. I do have my stream on Sunday, so I stream every other Sunday-ish, and most of the time it's going to be sprints. Sometimes it'll be fun stuff, but this weekend I will be doing sprints Sunday morning into the afternoon, and I'm gonna try and read Pet all in one go because it is very short. It's less than 200 pages. So that's my plans. I will catch you guys most likely on Sunday. I'm going to be honest with myself, I don't think I'm going to update you again tonight after the live stream. I will link the live stream down below if you want to see the VOD, but until Sunday. Hello friends, today is February 26th, it's Sunday. I have had a wonderful morning reading Pet by Kweki. It is like almost 9:30, which means I'm streaming in a little more than half an hour, and I was going to wait until my stream started before I started reading this, but then I woke up and I'm like, well, my stream isn't for like 2.5 hours, so might as well start. And I'm 62 pages in, so like almost a third already, and I am kind of obsessed with this. Like, even just that first chapter had me like, my emotions were all welling up, and this was just so strangely and beautifully written. I'm already obsessed, and I already know that I want to read everything that Akweki Emezi has written. I know there's a prequel to this called Bitter, and it's about Jam's mother, because her mother's name is Bitter. And there is Freshwater, which is on Scribd. Well, not yet. It's one of those books that'll be on Scribd in March. There's a lot of books that I've saved on Scribd recently that aren't quite available yet. One of which is An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon, which I will be reading at the end of this vlog. But yeah, I think there's something else that she's written, but I don't remember that they've written. Sorry. Um, and yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but I want to read everything that Akweki Emezi has written because this is just so fantastic already that I feel like I don't want to say that they're a favorite author after just one book, but like they might be a favorite author, you know? So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be able to finish this during my sprints, and I am excited. So I will cut off here, and it's so short. I'm just gonna get back to you when I finish this book because there's no point stopping to update you throughout it. So I'll see you in a couple of hours. Okay, I apologize for the terrible angle, but we're in the middle of the sprint. I only have about 5 minutes until the sprint ends. It's the last sprint of my stream. What? I'm like cutting off my head. Yeah, I finished reading Tet by Akweki Emezi. Jeez, this was a hard book to read, but like so amazing. I almost cried so many times, and the only reason I didn't cry is because I didn't want to cry on stream. Ah, okay, yeah. A fantastic book. It deals with really hard topics, but like it's handled very well, in my opinion. Obviously, everyone's opinions are different. If you've read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, that's like the only book I can think of that's even remotely similar to this, and it's like not even similar to it. It's like the vibes are similar, I guess. Both books deal with like acceptance and grief and admitting things that you've been lying to yourself about and growing up. And oh, that's another book that broke my heart. But I feel like this one, like they tackle completely separate topics is the thing, but like the base of it is very similar. So if you've read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness and you liked that book, definitely pick up Pet. I really want to read the prequel now, Bitter, because like we get like hints here of what the mother has gone through. Like we know sort of what happened, but we don't know what happened really. So I really want to pick up Bitter. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Um. Yeah. It's about 12:15 now. So I spent my entire morning reading this. Sorry, I keep looking over to make sure I'm not running out of time. Um, my morning well spent because I definitely loved this book. It was so good. Um, yes. So the next book I'm going to read, I don't have it on me. It's in my nightstand on the other side of the room, along with all the other books that I plan on reading in March. But it is The Mirror Season. I can put this down. The Mirror Season by Anne-Marie McLemore. And I know that's another heavy book. It deals with some hard topics, and I know that because it's stuff in the synopsis. But yeah, that's the next one I'm reading, and I'm more than halfway through now because I've read 3 of the 5 books for this vlog. So yay! This is gonna be a very long video. I feel like I'm talking so much about all the books, but like that's a pretty good thing. I think it's I've been driving some good conversation, at least in my own head. I don't know if that counts as a conversation. Oh boy, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah, so I'll probably start reading The Mirror Season tomorrow. I got a bunch of other stuff that I want to do with the rest of today, and also I just want to give this book some time to sit and like digest. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Yeah. So I'll see you tomorrow, I guess, when I pick up the mirror season. Yep, goodbye. Hello, friends. It is the 28th of February, and I finished reading The Mirror Season by Anna Marie McLemore. I did not update you at all while reading this. Yeah, so I kind of just binge read it because it was so good that I could not put it down. And now I'm trying really, really hard not to cry because it's so, so good. I apologize if you can hear Gremlin licking herself. She's sitting on the pillow next to me. But, yeah, this book was fantastic and heartbreaking and oh, so, so, so good. I'm very glad that I've liked most of the books I'm reading for this vlog. I'm especially glad that the one that I didn't enjoy is the one that I didn't pay for because I read it through Scribd, which I mean, I guess I paid for because I pay for Scribd, but you know what I mean. Like, the 3 books that I, like, bought physically and read, I, like, loved. This book is so good. Oh god, Chloe's awake and doing things on the other side of the room. Okay, I'm gonna try and ignore that. So, yeah, oh boy. This is a very hard book to read. It does deal with sexual assault and the aftermath of that, and it also touches on things like queer identity and racism and other topics. Hello, Chloe, welcome. Can't believe the cats were sleeping, and then as soon as I decided to film, they were like, "No, I'm gonna bother you." She's purring so loud, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, but also it's cute. Yeah, so yeah, I don't really know what to say about this book other than it's devastatingly beautiful and fantastic, and I think everyone should read it. Oh god, Chloe, put your tail away. I just. Oh, I can't. Oh no, my heat is going on. This clip is a mess. But yeah, I guess I only have one more book to read for this vlog, and that is An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. That I actually can't start reading it because it's not available on Scribd until March 2nd, so I guess I get a day off of reading tomorrow, and I'll start reading that then. And hopefully do a better job at updating you as I read and like my thoughts throughout. Yeah, that's my update, I guess. I will see you in a couple of days. Hello, friends. Today is March 2nd, and I am sad to say that I will be DNFing An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. I just know this book isn't for me. I tried to give it the whole, like, 20% thing that I usually give books before I decide if I want to DNF them, and that would have been 77 pages, but I am DNFing at 26 pages in because I'm reading this and I'm like, no, I'm not going to enjoy this book, and I already read Silver Under Nightfall when I should have DNF'd it, even though I knew I wouldn't enjoy the whole book, and that was a mistake. I'm gonna DNF this one before I, like, really get into it. I was going to give it one more chapter just to be safe, but the next chapter is 34 pages long, and I don't have time for that. It's just too much. I don't like. I wanted to like this book, but I started reading it and it was absolutely nothing like I expected, which is weird because I really didn't expect much. I didn't read. I thought I read the blurb, but I guess I didn't read the blurb because I thought this was gonna be like magical realism kind of vibes, like urban fantasy maybe. But it's like sci-fi, like hard sci-fi set in space. I just not my thing right now. I didn't like the way it was written. Like the writing style was very technical, using a lot of like scientific terms and explanations that I one don't understand and two don't care to understand. And like what the first 2 chapters that I did read, what it was doing with gender was really interesting, but not interesting enough for me to keep going. And I'm really upset. My cat is clawing at the door. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm kind of upset about DNFing this because I'm like 99% sure the main character is autistic based on what I've seen. And like, I love reading books about autistic characters because I'm autistic myself. But like, it's just not for me. and I'm not gonna make myself continue to read it. So that kind of brings us to the end of the vlog. Give me a minute. I'm going to move over to my desk and pull out the books that I own physically that I read for this vlog so I can wrap all this up for you. So overall, out of the 5 books that I read for this vlog, 2 I didn't like, but 3 I absolutely loved. So I'm going to count this as a win. I'm glad I got to explore new authors that I've never read from before, and non-binary authors at that, as that is the theme of this vlog. I love reading from more diverse people. Like, I don't want to just be reading from cishet white authors all the time, because that's lame. But, yeah, so 2 books I didn't like. An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. I don't know if I'm going to check out more of River Solomon's books. I might, but I've read, like, a little bit into more of their stuff. Chloe's gonna keep scratching. And, didn't really seem like my thing. And then Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Chapeko, which I do want to check out more of their stuff, because their stuff did seem more interesting to me. Then we have Pet by Kweki Emezi. Absolutely loved, would read anything they wrote. The Mirror Season by Anna Marie McLemore. Absolutely loved, would read anything else that they've written. And Iron Widow by Sharon J. Zhao, a new favorite book of mine. Absolutely obsessed. I cannot wait for the sequel. I'm gonna wrap this up really quickly because my cat is being so obnoxious. But, yeah, that was, quite an experiment. I'm very happy to have done this. I'm happy to have found new authors that I love. And that comes to the end of this vlog. So if you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.